Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about what are the things that you really need to expect from a service like a freelancer or a web design studio or a website studio when they're creating your website. One of the things that is super important, I believe, is really basic SEO optimization, at least something. Because, like for example, in our case in WebDash, because our clients see that on the footer that the website was created by WebDash. For us, it's very important when somebody shares the website or looks for it in Google, we want to be sure that it looks professional. This is why we always create, we add a featured image to every page. We add a keyword and a meta title and meta description, and we connect every website to the Google Search Console so that Google can index and go through the website so that when you Google it and when you share it, it looks good and professional. It has an image and a title and the description, and it's not like just a white, just a white image or just the logo and it just says home or whatever, but it says something about your business and it looks more professional. This is something normally very easy to do, especially for smaller websites. Like for bigger websites, when you have a lot of pages, that's a little bit more work because you need to do that for every single page. But at least you need to have some kind of basic SEO plugin. Normally, we used to work with Yoast SEO a lot. Lately, we've been working with RankMath more. So whatever you choose to work with and your developers choose to work with, really the SEO is very important, and I believe every website should have at least the basic things covered. Another thing that is also important about the SEO is when somebody develops your website, they should follow basic rules about SEO, which means, for example, how they structure URLs, how many words they put on every different page. They should guide you and give you information that you need to have a little bit more copywriting, a little bit more text on a single page. Also, how they structure your headings. So you have heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So how they place them on a page, this is also very important. These things, and also the URL structure, not just how they write the words in the URL, but also how they structure your categories. Do you have breadcrumbs? Do you have pagination for your blog page, for example, etc.? So these things are important, and SEO is something that it is a very tricky job. If you want to go to an SEO agency that is fully focused on doing the SEO of your website, you can go ahead and do that after you have your website, but at least the developers should have all these basic things covered. Another thing, the second thing I would mention is connecting your website to some different marketing tools. If you are using it, and that should come from you or from your marketing agency, if you decide to use Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics or MailChimp, and you'll be sending newsletters or different types of marketing tools, it's normally very easy task to give it to your developers and them to put it on the website and to connect that service, that external service, to your website. Normally, they should give you information about what they need from you to give to them so that they can connect the website. Third thing I would say is you should always have fully responsive website, which means that I believe, in my opinion, that it is a little bit old school to think about mobile version of the website. Yes, it does have a mobile version, but the thing is that website should be fully responsive, which means based on your screen, and you can actually really test that when you go to a browser on your desktop and you just make the screen smaller and you see how the website changes. So the pictures scale down, the text, if you have, for example, 4 columns of text, the columns start going down and not very long, small columns, but instead at a certain point there, instead of 4 on one row, they become 2 on the first row and 2 on the second row, so they fall down, so that the actual content actually resizes based on the screen that you're looking at the website. So this means fully responsive. There are many details that we can talk about that. For me, it's very important very interesting topic, but this is actually the basic thing, and you're able to check that also if you decide to go on your browser and you click inspect, right click on any website and then inspect. Depending on the browser that you're using, you're gonna see some features on top that you can see a preview of the website on an iPad, on a tablet, on a bigger screen, mobile, on a smaller screen, on a mega desktop, and you should see how your website moves and resizes accordingly. If it does, that means that your website is responsive. Another thing that every developer, when they're creating your website, should do is test it on all the major browsers like Chrome and Firefox and Safari, really important, and Edge as well. Another thing that you should ask from your developers is whether they're able to provide for you SSL certificate. Normally, the SSL certificate is provided by your hosting provider. So they just need to make sure that it works and it's connected properly. Another super important thing, guys, is optimizing your images. Every developer that works for your website should optimize your images in a way that they are not heavy on your website and then they don't bug your website speed. One way to test that is go to GTmetrix and then just place the link to your website and check it out. But normally you can optimize your images so that they're up to 200 kilobytes in terms of size, in terms of file size. So this is super important, your images to be optimized for your website. And you can check that article that we have as well down below. A bonus thing that you should ask from your developers is documentation. For us, for example, we do create documentation for every single client because honestly, it's easier for the client to know what happened to their website, what softwares we're using, what are the versions of these softwares, how they can change a picture, how they can optimize a picture on their website, the client, and do that by themselves instead of looking for a developer each time they want to change just a simple text or just a simple image. Actually, we go out of our way as well to create a video tutorial. Every time that we create a website, we create a video tutorial for the client for the thing that they're most likely to do, which is, for example, if you have a blog website, then uploading a new blog post. And normally we will create a template for you with many different sections and screens that you're gonna have. And we're gonna show you in that tutorial how to upload a new blog post and how you can get rid of certain sections that you don't need for a specific blog post. Or if you have a product shop, we're gonna show you how you can upload a new product on your store, on your website, so that it's also easy for you to navigate. Of course, we also have a WordPress training that we can give to our customers, especially if they have zero experience with WordPress. This is very useful for them. But if they already have experience with the platform and with the CMS of WordPress, that normally means that the documentation for them is going to be enough. And of course, if they need our support, we're there for them if they call us. We also provide monthly website support, and I'm going to talk about that in a different video, why it's super important to have that. Website documentation at the end of the project is very important to have. And maybe another bonus, I would say, every time when you get your website delivered, when a company or a freelancer delivers your website, the website should be fully updated. So all the WordPress, in our case, because that's what we do, the theme of the website and the plugins should be fully updated, and they provide for you that website that is fully updated and all the softwares are there and in their final versions. Of course, after that, you can require from them monthly support that's going to include updating each time all the websites, which is also very important. But enough for today. These are just some major things to have in mind and to always expect and demand from your website developers. Thank you. See you later. Bye.